I'm going to start with a little background as to why we're doing this. Many months ago, pre COVID, Susan and I had talked a lot about when adding additional revenue streams, starting a membership, getting extra revenue, and then COVID hit and we went into overdrive with that. We basically, as you guys have known that have been following us, we've been talking about trying to make up for lost revenue because most of you had lost revenue when COVID hit. So we're back into this. How do we get more revenue and how do we help our businesses? And going into 2021, we want to help you do that. So back when COVID started, one of the things that Susan and I had talked about in an early Facebook Live was a trick of the month idea. So we were out there going, hey, you guys could do this trick of the month and every month offer a trick and teach it to your clients and market it and bring the people in. And we had all these really great ideas. And of course, everyone thought, that's great. And then very few people implemented it because we started getting people saying, how do you do it? And my staff doesn't know how to teach the tricks. And we don't have the time to create the marketing collateral. How do you price it? And so we have the solution for you. We have partnered, the Dog Guru's partnered with Blue Nine. And this was actually something we had talked about with Blue Nine, what, 2 years ago, Jamie?
Yep.
We talked about doing this. And then it's just interesting how timing works because this is when everybody needs it. And this is when it ended up coming out. Susan, do you want to talk about what we put together for Trick of the Month? And then we'll have Jamie talk a little bit about what she did to help us.
Yeah, Jamie did a lot of the heavy lifting, but we wanted to make sure that from a business point of view, that you knew options on how to implement this in your business. And most importantly, that you priced it and knew your costs so that you would make a profit from the program. And it is flexible. So we have a business tip sheet that's a part of this program that will help you summarize your planning costs and your ongoing implementation costs of actually doing the trick. I love those little Excel spreadsheets so you can do your cost and do your pricing. And so that's included so that have confidence that you're going to know the right price so that you can make a profit. And even the example, we did an example for you, was a pet business that really promoted this and sold it could make $40,000 in profit in a year.
Those of you that don't know, Jamie Popper is a certified professional dog trainer, and she's a fabulous dog trainer. But not only that, she is one of those unique people that is actually a fabulous people teacher. So she's amazing at being able to teach people how to train their dogs. And when I say that, you have to understand, I am a dog trainer and not everybody can do a really good job with both species. So Jamie actually is great at teaching people. And so she is the one that has created all the videos to help you train your staff so that your staff, no matter what level of experience they have, whether they've trained a dog to do a million things or they have never trained a dog before, these videos that Jamie has put together will be able to get them up and running immediately. So Jamie, do you want to talk a little bit about those videos that you did to help everybody?
Yeah, and to backtrack or to talk a little bit about some of the points that you guys made as well. It's so interesting. I have a background in exceptional student education. So I taught in the public school system, working with small children. And I have that background of teaching the human learner just as much as teaching the dog learner as well. So when we were talking about this trick of the month idea, I was like, oh, you just do this and this. And it's almost like I can have a dream about what a curriculum might be and wake up and be able to implement it. And it's just how my brain works at being able to put building blocks together to seamlessly take a learner from point A to point B and communicate all of these different skills. And I realized through different discussions that not everybody has this way of assembling so many different components in their brain. And so I loved being able to work with you guys on this project to be able to bring something that truly is plug and play. You sit down, you've got all of the videos that are in front of you, and it's something that people with very little background knowledge on training dogs or working with dogs should be able to implement this. So to talk about some of the resources that we've put together, one component of it is these quick reference guides, which I'm going to come back to in a second. But the quick reference guides have different photos on them and then quick step-by-steps, just 4 steps to remind you of what you would have seen prior in one of the videos. So inside of this Trick of the Month program, there's a video video for each different trick that we show you or an average dog handler or dog owner how to train these tricks to their dogs or to the dogs that are in your care. So those videos are anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes long. Try to keep them short and sweet so that you had just the information that you needed, but also a little bit of troubleshooting information as well in case you hit any bumps in the road. So once you've watched that video, then you've got this quick reference guide, and I'll just pull up one of them really quick. So there's a QR code to go back to the video if for some reason you forgot what you watched. And then there's different levels on here as well. So beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So if you have a dog that already knows how to do this trick, then you can figure out how to up the challenge level. And then on the back of the card, like I said, is just 4 simple steps, and there are images for each of the different steps, and then also just quick short phrases that remind you of the steps that you take in order to get the dog to perform the behavior that you're looking for. Try to make it as simple and easy as possible in order to show how to train these different behaviors to your dogs. Now, on top of all of that, I think you guys touched on it a little bit. We put together some different social media graphics that you can post on your social media pages, or even print out on like a poster or something like that inside of your store or inside of your daycare area. And we really did that because we want to get people, your customer, asking about what is this program? Tell me more about it. So you guys already have those marketing resources as well.
So here's the thing. If you need to generate more revenue in your pet business, which I would guarantee everybody needs to, and especially this year because of COVID, Trick of the Month is one of the things we would recommend doing. And we'll talk in a second about all the different ways you can do this. But when we initially suggested that, the 2 biggest, I will say, stumbling blocks to a pet sitter or dog trainer or dog walker or daycare or boarding facility, the stumbling blocks we got was our staff doesn't know how to teach it, and we don't have time to market it. So we have taken that off the table now, so that you now don't have that as an obstacle, because there are about 15 different social media marketing plug and play. You just download the image and post it on your social media and put what you're doing. So they're already done for you. There's also little video vignettes. So there's not even just graphics, there's little videos you can use that also are already done for you. And then all of the videos are done for you to teach your staff how to teach the tricks, as well as the resource guides that Jamie just showed you. So those are all done as well. The other thing that we included was a spreadsheet so that you can track the level that the dog's in. So for each dog that is in your program, let's say one of your staff members works with them one day and somebody else is going to work with them the next day, you have a tracking sheet so that you can keep track of where the dog is. And I love that Jamie included how to increase the level of difficulty for the dog as well. So if one dog has learned the trick or learned the basics, the next person who works with that dog can say, oh, you already do the basics, let's practice that. But now I can increase it and make it a little bit more challenging. So that's all great, because you can then show the pet parent all of that fun stuff that the dog has learned. So really the biggest thing that we also provided, because we want to make sure this is profitable, if you're following us ever at the Dog Gurus, we always talk about profitability. So we've also included a whole business sheet that helps to take you through different ways you can use this program, as well as how you can price it so that it is making money. And we will guarantee you, if you price this right, you're going to market it and make your return on investment back within a month. Mm-hmm. And we did not price this high. We just wanted to give you guys the resources and tools. And because the day is the day we launched it, it is a introductory special. So it's $199 for all of that material. It's all available online, and I'll put the link in a second in there. But we also do have an upgrade. So do you want to do your special reveal? And this is actually fun for me and Susan, because we haven't even seen everything that there is in the box, because the box is being prepared by Blue 9 Pet Products. But there is an upgrade if you get everything digitally, but we did create a little upgrade. So do you want to show that stuff and talk about that, Jamie?
Yeah. So inside of the online version, you get all of the stuff that we've already talked about, all of the digital access to the resources, the digital videos, the digital PDF downloads of the quick reference guides, all of that stuff. I always recommend print those quick reference guides, laminate them, keep them safe from any, water that might be inside of your facility. We know that we're always cleaning and it's always wet. You want to make sure that you protect those. But if you're not interested in printing them yourself and laminating them yourself, then we've got a whole bunch of really cool resources resources for you that you can get in the upgraded kit inside of the resource kit. We're actually going to mail you a resource kit. So I already mentioned the quick reference guides. I want to go back to these really quick. These are actually printed on a vinyl, a white vinyl. So they're waterproof. It's not paper. Think of it as like a thin credit card material, or what it reminds me of is the vinyl blinds that you hang in your windows. So they're durable, they're meant to last, and they're meant to be easy to wipe down and sanitize. So they're not gonna turn into a mushy mess. I've got my little box down here. Dun, 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 dun. This is the box that everything's going to come in and sealed up, and there's a little key ring on them to keep them all put together so that you have all of the tricks in one package. And like I mentioned before, it's got all of the images and stuff like that on there as well. So it keeps it all together, which is really nice. And then what we also wanted to do was make sure that you had some of the tools that you needed in order to get started as well. We've also included a clicker in your resource kit as well. When you go through the training tips video, which is the first video that's available inside of the Trick of the Month online program, we talk about training tips and why using an audible marker like a clicker is so important. So we're going to go ahead and provide one of those for you inside of that resource kit as well. And then also to talk a little bit more about that marketing, we want to get our clients that are coming into our facilities to ask us about this program. So what we did is we put together durable floor decals. So this is the one that's designed to go on the floor. It's blue. So it says, we'll do the training so you can show off your trick dog. We want them to ask us about this. What is your trick dog program? How do I learn more information about this? What are you guys doing? I want to be involved in that program. So this is a textured vinyl, and it's meant to last. The manufacturers, when we started talking to them, we said, we want this to last forever. And they're like, most things only last 3 to 6 months. This is designed to last on your floors for up to 12 months. But we've been testing ours here, and it doesn't even have a scuff mark on it, which is cool. So it's a durable textured vinyl. This is for your floor decal. And then we also have a window decal. So same thing. These are designed to be adhered to windows from the outside. So they are durable and weather protected as well. And it just says, ask us about our trick of the month. So if you call it a trick of the month club, a trick of the month program, or depending on how you guys design it, this material is designed to be one size fits all. So you've also got this stuff that you can put out there as well to get people asking about your program as you get started. So that's everything that's included in your resource kit. So if you purchase the upgraded version with the physical resource kit, then 24 to 48 hours, we're going to send this super cool box out to you.
So Amanda said, super excited about this. And Victoria Stevens also said, super excited about this. So that's awesome. Susan, do you want to talk a little bit about the different ways, whether you're using this program that we're offering or you're creating your own trick of the month, just the different ways you can offer this to generate revenue? Because there's a lot of different ways you could do this.
Absolutely. You can have clients sign up for their dog to be a participant in Trick of the Month. So then it could be either an upfront fee or a monthly recurring fee that you get, and they bring them in to daycare or grooming or into your facility. We think it's a great way to get your clients coming more often when maybe they haven't been, because you may need them a couple of visits to learn the trick. And the pricing would be just for training the trick. They would still need to pay for their daycare visit, day lodge, grooming, or lodging, whatever you would say. Our recommendation is that the dog comes in either twice a month, whatever you think you need to teach them the trick and how you want the program to work. So you can set it up as a recurring membership that they pay every month, or they pay for a year in advance. Maybe they get 12 months for the price of 11. So you can do it that way, or you could just do it as an add-on. It could be an add-on if you're already doing an enrichment program. We're going to be doing a Trick of the Month as part of enrichment. The downside of that is you may not get extra revenue, but it would bring a lot of fun and maybe more visits for dogs into an enrichment program. You could also do it as just an add-on to either lodging or grooming, anything like that. I think it's great because I also think pet sitters and dog walkers go to the house and do the trick. And you could still do it as a Trick of the Month, but you're going to them and set up a schedule of how many visits. Or you could say on your dog walking, one visit out of the week, we're going to work on the trick if you sign up for the program, or do it as an add-on. So it's really flexible. And I think we keep talking about trick of the month, so you think there's only 12, but that's not the way Jamie and Blue Nine and the dog gurus do things. So you're actually going to get 15 tricks. And if you think there's a level dance, you could have 45 tricks if you dog start at the beginning and move through all 3 levels of every trick. So there's a lot that you can do with the program as far as how you sell it and implement it.
Yeah, and Susan says, I see AKC Trick Titles. We actually did include some information about AKC Trick Titles because that is a marketing aspect you can use for your clients to say, if you get 6 or 7 tricks down, you could submit a little video and then that dog could get a novice trick title from AKC. And if they're really close, like maybe they need one more trick, you know what? They're going to come and sign up for that one more trick so that they can do that video and send it in to get that AKC trick title. So it's a great way to get pet parents involved with working with their dogs. And the one thing that I can say in training dogs, the faster you can get the pet parent motivated and having fun with their dogs, the longer they will keep that dog and the longer that they will work with that dog and the stronger the relationship will be for that dog. So that benefits the dog, it benefits the pet parent. Ultimately, it benefits your business because they're going to have that dog for a longer period of time. So this really is an opportunity for you to really get out there and get this out to the pet parents. And like Susan said, it does work. It doesn't matter if you're dog training, pet sitter, dog walker, daycare, lodging, whatever. You could do this anyway. You could even do this via Zoom. Like you could learn how to do the tricks and then get a dog and then videotape yourself and sell a Zoom product. Or we had people last year doing trick programs and they added an additional fee and did a VIP option, which included a private Facebook group where parents could do their own tricks at home and practice and show the sky's the limit as to how you use it. But we've given you everything that you can get started right away. You could literally get this and you could have it up and running within a week or 2. Definitely, we're trying to get people to say, get this implemented by January so that you have a revenue stream coming in as soon as January hits. So
one other thing I wanted to jump in and just say is like, there are so many benefits to doing trick training with your dog as well. So everyone loves being able to show off a cool trick, but if we work on some of these different tricks that we've put into this program too, it can help with managing problem behaviors. So eliminating some of those poor behaviors that we have from our dogs and giving ourselves more tools for being able to ask our dogs to do something. So one of the behaviors that is included in this is teaching our dogs how to do a nose touch. So if we can ask our dogs to come to us, put their nose into our hand, then we can use that as a recall, or we can use it as a way to get the dog to go into a kennel or come out of the kennel. So there's lots of different ways that we can use these behaviors now as tools. And then I also wanted to mention that as soon as an owner starts to have a communication system with their dog, so being able to ask for a behavior, understand whether or not their dog is going to give them that behavior, and then also the opportunity for reinforcing the behavior that they've asked for, now they've got this communication system between the two of them. And that only serves to further grow the bond with their dog. We talk about trick training too, because it's so much fun. It takes a lot of the pressure off of the obedience that the dog must do it right and they must do it quickly. And it's a trick. So people loosen up, they're having a little bit more fun with their dog, and that only serves to further grow the bond. Now, all of this is to say, if people have a better or stronger bond with their dog, don't they want to just give them the world? So there's so much more that we can then show them once they've gotten hooked on this Trick of the Month program too.
Exactly. And there's a lot more that they're going to want to do with their dog. So it's a lot easier to encourage somebody to come back and do enrichment if they've already seen what happens when their dog learns some tricks and they start learning to communicate with their dog and doing those tricks with them. And then they're going to be like, okay, we see this all the time. Those of us that are dog trainers, your clients will get hooked on the dog learning and then being able to teach the dog. And that's great. It's great for the dog. It's great for the pet parent. It's great for your business. So it's really, and for us, it's a no-brainer. Like tricks is a great way to get started. Cassie said, I'm just hiring an additional trainer who's super into trick training. So this would be a no-brainer for that person to get started. And the great thing, I do like trick training to break in those staff members who really want to learn more about dogs and maybe are future dog trainers, but they don't have all the dog training skills or experience yet. This is a great way to get them started and put them on a career path where you can provide them additional education later on that they could become your dog trainer at your facility. So this is a really good starting point for somebody that wants to get into the training field and could potentially work for you in a bigger capacity later. So I love that too. Let me see. So Victoria said, do you have a suggested pricing? I understand this is all dependent on location. For example, Bay Area doggy daycare is $55 a day. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Susan?
Yeah, there's an example that's in the kit that, based on the cost assumptions that we use for that, we would say the minimum pricing on a monthly upcharge or additional service would be minimum $25. But that's minimum and depends on your cost for sure. So Robin, why don't you say you did this many years ago?
I did this 20 years ago before I knew what recurring revenue was. I did trick of the month at my facility. I charged $40 a month. And it was a great way I didn't set it up on a monthly basis. Like every month I was like, do you want to do it now? Do you want to do it now? It makes much more sense to sign them up at the beginning and say, you're signed up for 6 months or 12 months, like to just do it that way. I didn't do it that way. So in hindsight, this is a much better way of doing it. But what I found was it caused the pet parents to bring their dogs more often because they needed to be there, obviously, for me to train the dogs. And I usually needed them to come more than just once. So I could sometimes teach the basics of the trick in one session, but I usually wanted a little bit more consistency so the dog knew it a little bit better before I handed that training over to the pet parent and showed them how to do it. So usually it was anywhere from 2 to 4 days that I wanted them. So they did come more often. And that $40 was on top of the daycare. That was an additional fee. So they were paying for daycare, but then they were signing up for $40 to bring their dog. And I didn't make them come on any specific days. It just became part of their regular daycare day, but they were usually coming more often just because they wanted to do the trick of the month. So I thought, but yeah, we would say bare minimum would be 25, but you could probably, add more. And a lot of it would depend on, like I said, we had some people doing trick of the month stuff, adding that additional benefit of a private Facebook group. I would charge more for that. Or maybe you're going to videotape their dog when you teach them the tricks and you are going to upload that to a private page where that pet parent can have it. I would charge more for that. So any of those types of additional benefits you can offer, you can increase the price.
And I think one thing I like about this is a great way to say, let's have some fun in January. Get started with your dog. And I think you could even do an add-on at the end of the month. Everybody that's participating in the program does come in and you help them learn to teach the dog that trick if you can have people together. And again, charge more. So get creative with what you can add on to the plug and play to enhance the value to the pet parent, and they will pay it. And this is something that, again, we would say it's a minimum 20% profit based on your costs when you figure that out. But that's a minimum. I think you can go over 100% profit on this because the value is there. And I think too often in pet services, we don't think about having a service that's highly profitable because we feel bad about it. But the value's here. These people are going to be so proud of what their dog can do, and they could potentially earn a title. I don't think about my dog earning a title. I'm just a pet parent. I'm not a trainer, but maybe they could.
Yeah. They definitely could. Exactly. And that I was also going to say, so I'll throw this one to you, Jamie. Vicky said, what about dogs that don't learn, i.e. pugs or others who aren't quite as agile?
So to go off of the last part of that question first about the dogs that aren't quite as agile, if you take a look at some of the different tricks that we're teaching, there's a great list of them on the FAQ page for the Trick of the Month program. So definitely take a look at that. But also realize that we're giving you 15 different tricks for what's essentially a 12-month-long program. So if there are dogs that are not capable of doing some of the specific behaviors, then you can always swap it out and use one of the other tricks that are available. So you can exchange them and see which ones work best for your clientele. As far as dogs that don't learn, no such thing. Every dog has the capability of learning. Every organism has the capability of learning. So it's really just a matter of finding something that the dog is motivated by or is eager to earn And for some dogs, maybe that is a scratch underneath the chin or behind the ear. For other dogs, maybe that's a really exciting piece of beef liver training treats. And for other dogs, maybe that's working for a tennis ball or for the opportunity to play tug of war. And so that's what our training tips goes over, is how do we get the best out of our dogs based off of the reinforcement that they enjoy. But every organism has the ability to learn: human, dog, cat, fish. I've trained them all.
We did have a question early on about if you have to use a clicker. And when Jamie teaches the introduction video, she does use a clicker, and you'll see her using a clicker through the training videos as well, but you don't have to use a clicker. She actually will talk about the fact that you can use a verbal marker. Both Jamie and I use the word yes for our dogs. When I don't have a clicker, a lot of times I'll use the word yes. Or you will find sometimes a lot of the herding breeds in particular might be sound sensitive, and the clicker, they don't like it. So we would say ditch the clicker, just use the word yes, or some of the marker words. No, you don't have to use the clicker, but we do recommend positive reinforcement. So everything is based on positive reinforcements, which is the best way for a dog to learn really and have fun enjoying the process. And frankly, it's a lot easier for your staff to train that way as well, in our opinion. And if you make mistakes, especially as a new trainer, if you're not doing everything perfectly, the most that's going to happen is the dog going to be really happy and full.
Yes.
So that's the great thing about positive reinforcement training, is you can make some mistakes and it's not going to totally mess up the dog, which is always a good thing. So it's a good way for people to learn about training as well.
The other thing I wanted to mention on that as well, what if they're not smart, or what if they're not learning? And I always say, look for the smallest success point. When I first start working with 6-week-old puppies, they're not doing sits, downs, and stands and spins and all of that. It's whether or not I can get them to give me eye contact, or whether or not I can get them to follow a piece of food for 2 steps, because they're still developing their eyes and their line of eyesight. So what's the smallest success point? So maybe for the spin behavior, we'd love to be able to get our dogs to be able to do a spin when we just say spin or twirl without having to use a food lure. That's a more advanced level to that trick. But the very first baby step of it is whether or not the dog can follow a piece of food for a quarter turn. And I would bet every single dog can do that within a 5 or a 10-minute training session. So looking at those small success points and then building on those and having a positive attitude about it that way as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And actually, you even do that in the video on spin, as you teach that, how to break it down. Yep. So Rose said the trick training, is it individual or group training? So I would say most of the time that I was doing Trick of the Month, it was individual training. So a dog might come to daycare, obviously have somebody in the daycare managing the dogs as the trainer. I would pull the dog out for a 10 to 15-minute session and then put the dog back in. If you do enrichment, a lot of you have heard us talk about teaching multiple dogs in a room. So I might take 4 dogs in a room and teach 3 of them to stay on a place. And typically we use the Blue 9 climb for this, get the dogs to stay on the climb while I'm working with a 4th dog. So those 3 dogs who are staying, they're actually working too, because they're working on impulse control. They're working on calming themselves down and waiting their turn. And then you're working with that 1 dog. And then you send that 1 dog, once you're done training him, over to a climb, bring another dog down and work with them. So you could do it in a small group that way. It does take a little bit more time because you are teaching a place command, which is one of the tricks actually, but you want to teach that place command and then you're working with multiple dogs. What I would not recommend doing is trying to teach a trick in a group of dogs that are just running around playing, because that's not setting the dog up for success, or your trainer for that matter. But also because I recommend using treats, and then I would not recommend doing that in a group of dogs playing, just for the potential for resource guarding or having a fight break out because one dog's, oh, I want to go over here and get a treat too. So that's how we would typically recommend it. Okay, let me see what other questions. So Courtney had asked, what pricing would you recommend for a subscription-based service?
I would do the same. I think you could do anywhere from $25 to $40 a month and set it up as a monthly recurring revenue that they commit to it and bring the dogs in. You just have to set your parameters around how many visits you want to be able to have the trick at the level that you feel good about for charging that amount. It's hard to know. You guys know your clients, and what they're going to be into and all. But the key thing is to know your cost and how much labor you're going to put into it.
Susan put together an awesome resource where you can plug in the actual numbers that you're going to be paying your staff and the amount of time that they're spending prepping for something like this. And then also the amount of time that they're spending with the dogs, all of the different components that factor into this in order to understand what's your cost, what's your overall investment into it, in order to come up with the pricing. So it's really hard to just answer it as a one-off question, but the resources in there so that you're able to figure out what's the best pricing model for you.
I would look at maybe charging, if somebody wants to sign up just for 1 month, maybe that's a higher charge, but the subscription, they get it a little bit less. The other thing you could do is include this as part of, if you already have a membership, this could be another level of membership. It could be the starting point of your membership. Or if you're doing daycare enrichment, maybe you have a basic enrichment and then you have this VIP enrichment program, which includes the trick of the month. And so you're charging for it based on a monthly membership subscription anyway. So there's a lot of different ways you can really look at how to price it and how to offer it to your clients. But I would always give them the opportunity to say, I only want to do it once. Or maybe they've taught some tricks. But again, this is why we gave you more than 12 tricks, because if that client comes in that 1 month and says, my dog already knows that and already paid, you can pull out another trick and say, we got another one. So it works out that we gave you more than just that 12 months for that very reason. And because you could just do a bonus, hey, we're going to teach your dog something extra now. So one of the questions Victoria said, to clarify, owners don't need to be there. It would be myself or staff training the dogs ourselves and sharing a video with the owners.
Yes, that's how the package was designed, that you can provide it as a service and train the dog. Now you have to decide, do you want to help the owner be able to do the trick for the dog? And if you do, Robin and Jamie said that would probably be extra fees if you're going to do that. But you could also make it a fun social thing too. This is flexible, but you could use it as a trick training class and have owners there.
Yeah, and how I did it with mine was I did the training with the dog by myself, so just me and the dog, and then I usually moved around in the facility. The one thing I will give you a tip on is, if you're going to show the dog how to do this with the owner watching, teach your dog how to do it in the lobby, or at least practice in the lobby. Because if you practice, dogs don't generalize very well. So if you practice like in the back room, the dog learns it really there. And then you're like, I'm going to show it to the owner, and you've never done it in the lobby. The dog will be like, I can't do it. We're not in the back room. So I would usually practice multiple places because I know dogs don't generalize. And then when I was ready, I would usually tell the owner, hey, when you pick your dog up tonight, if you have a few minutes, then I'll show you how to, teach the trick or how to do the trick. And that usually only took about 5 minutes. So I bring the dog out, show them the trick, give the owner pieces of food and have them do the trick, and then they would just be thrilled and they would go home. But again, if you're going to spend that extra time with the pet parent, then I would charge maybe a little bit more to say, we're going to teach you how to do it at the end. Otherwise, you could just send a video home with them or post a video on a Facebook group or whatever. The other thing I forgot to mention, Susan, when you were talking about being creative with this, we did have somebody that was doing a trick program earlier this year that actually included what's it called? Talent show at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was during COVID lockdown. So it was all virtual, but she charged a little bit more because she did orchestrate this talent show, and it was a lot of fun. The pet parents could just pick, they taught several tricks, and then the pet parents could pick one and then show off their trick as part of that talent show. So I thought that was a really fun idea too. And if you are able, when we're able to get in person and meet again, that would be another way to just have some fun with this and charge a little bit more for that extra benefit at the end, because pet parents love to do stuff like that with their dogs.
And speaking about that creative mindset too, one of the other things that we put together for them was different phrases that they can put inside of progress reports. So if you write little report cards for dogs at the end of the day that you give over to the pet parent when they pick up their dog, we have a few different phrases for the different tricks that are inside of the Trick of the Month program. They give you an idea of something fun that you can put inside of their report card once they're mastering the trick or giving them an update on some of the progress that they're making. The other component to this, though, is you guys can have so much fun with it as well. So from some of the social media marketing components that are already put together for you, that's a piece of cake to put up. But now you can also create all of this other content. So say Fluffy learns how to do spin in our first session, that's something to celebrate. Post that on your Facebook. Tell people about the success that the dogs are having inside of your program, because that gets other people excited and it gets the pet parent excited because now their dog is a star. And so
Right.
you've actually got these behaviors that you can ask your dogs to do to show off a little bit as well. Everyone loves a photo of a dog sitting on a climb or sitting on playground equipment or playing with their best buddy or swimming in the swimming pool. But how much more engaging is it to show, hey, look, this is a trick that we taught this dog how to do inside of our program, and really show that off. So you can create all kinds of content that you can put on your social media platforms as well.
Well,
Yeah,
I
and we
think
all know that those get shared. If you're the pet owner, if you're the pet parent of the dog who's doing the spin, you're going to share that.
Yes.
Yeah, and we talked about the dog being a star or getting a title, but maybe they just accumulate stars for every trick. So then you've got your 5-star puppy, your 6-star puppy, and people like
that's
a little
a great idea.
competition.
I like it.
Or
You just thought of that right now.
I did. See, this
That's-
is why
I
we
mean,
get together and talk. And let me tell you, the phrases that the Blue Line crew came up with on the report cards are awesome. They were fun. They were having fun brainstorming those. These are not just real basic, your dog learns spin, but we don't want to spoil it. It's all in the
I
kit.
have to give a shout out to Jess Ocon from our team on that one, because she helped me come up with a few of them. That was definitely grab a glass of wine and brainstorm this together. Yes.
So Kathy had asked, what's the upgrade cost? So we actually have a whole thing as an introductory price from now to the 11th of December. The basic digital access to everything is $199, and then the digital access with everything that's included there, plus the resource kit, which we'll have Jamie go over again in case you joined us late. But if you do the upgrade and you get the resource kit, it's $299. And I did put the link to the doggurus.com/trick of the month. That's where you'll see everything on there, and you'll get access immediately. So we thought a lot about how to deliver this content, and we went round and round because it's a one-time payment for you guys. You might charge a recurring subscription to your clients, but it's a one-time payment to get access to it. So then we thought we'll just drip the content, give them something every month. And then we finally were like, look, we just give them it all as soon as they sign up. So as soon as you sign up, you get access to everything digitally. So all of the handouts that Jamie showed earlier, and we'll have her show those again, you'll get digital copies of those so you can print them in color or black and white or whatever you want to print that, however you want to print them. You get immediate access to all the videos. You get immediate access to the PDF business document. There's a video, by Susan on how to price it. So you get access to everything. And then you get access to all 15 tricks immediately. So there's no waiting. You get like literally within, I will say about 3 minutes of signing up, you will get a login to the Dog Gurus library, which is where that content lies. And if you upgrade to the resource kit, and I'll have Jamie go through that again in a second.
We'll ship it within 24 to 48 hours. We're not Amazon. We don't have the drones yet.
So do you want to show everybody what's in the resource kit again? For
Yes.
those that weren't on earlier?
Fast shipping though. So I think that the really cool component is having all of the reference guides already printed out, bound with one of the little key rings. And we talked about this previously. This is made out of not paper. It's not laminated. It's this really cool vinyl material that's easy to wipe down. So it's super easy to keep clean and sanitized in the day of COVID. That's important. And it's not going to fall apart or deteriorate on you. So if you're the type that is not a kindergarten teacher, that doesn't just like love printing off stuff and laminating everything.
That doesn't have their own laminator.
I have my own laminator.
I do. See, Jamie and I are like our own laminators.
Laminating stuff when I was a public school teacher was like it was what I did every night. I got such a kick out of making resources for my students. So I would do that. But if you're not the crafty type, just grab these. They are that vinyl material, super easy to take care of, and it's done for you. You don't have to print it. You don't have to worry about losing it. It's done. It's all done for you. Also inside of our resource kit, we've got a clicker. We talk a little bit about how we use a clicker inside of the trick training program. It's a small noise-making device. And Rue is laying out, he totally just looked at me like, that means I get cookies. So the clicker is used to mark behaviors when our dogs perform the cue that we are looking for or the specific criteria that we're looking for. You can absolutely use the word yes instead of the clicker, but we wanted to throw that tool in there for you. And then a couple of marketing pieces for you. We have got a floor decal. Take a step back so that you have an idea of the size of it. This floor decal, you can put it in your front entryway. The dogs are going to walk on it, but the humans are going to read it. And it's just a way to advertise the program. This one says we'll do the training so you can show off your trick dog. This is meant to get them to ask a question. What does that mean? I want a trick dog. I want to show off my dog. Tell me a little bit more about it. And then we also have a window decal. Ask us about our trick of the month. Rue's waking up now that he heard that click. He's, I want to do some tricks. But then we also have a window decal as well, saying specifically, ask us about our trick of the month. And these are both textured as well. So your person's not going to slip on it if they walk across the floor decal, and they are meant to be very durable as well. So they should stay looking nice for quite some time. And then I know that we mentioned it at the beginning of it, but some of the digital resources include all of those social media posts that you can make as well, so that you can advertise this on your Instagram or your Facebook or any other social media marketing that you do as well.
And then when you sign up, we will be sending you emails, whoever that person is that signed up, whatever that email address is, we actually will be sending you emails every month to remind you so that hopefully you won't forget to keep promoting. So we'll send you an email to say, hey, don't forget, your staff should be working on this month's trick of the month, so that they're prepared when the month starts to have the skills they need to be able to start teaching this. So it really is plug and play. And really, we have put this together to help all of you, whatever your business is. This is a great opportunity to add that additional revenue stream. And I know that it's just ironic, the timing of all of this, because like I said, we started working on this as a concept about 2 years ago. And I just feel like the timing of it is just so perfect, because I feel like we were all so excited about Thanksgiving revenue increasing, and then COVID came back and a lot of cancellations happened. And now we're like, oh, what do we do? Because we know for the daycare and lodging facility, especially January is always a slow month anyway. So this is perfect timing to get this now, get ready for January, start building that revenue stream. That's an additional revenue stream, and make up for some of the losses from this year. So we really hope that you'll take a look at it. And it's great no matter whatever your business is, whether it's pet sitting, grooming, daycare, boarding, training, whatever. This is a additional revenue stream you can add on to that.
I just want to say, I think it's an easy sell. I think it's something your team will get excited about. So maybe involve them in brainstorming how to best implement it for your business, so they feel a part of it from the beginning, so that it is an easy upsell to clients. Because I do think you can make a lot of money. You can definitely make your investment in the program back quickly. But my challenge is to really make this your most profitable program that you offer.
The values there, and it is an easy sell. You're basically saying, do you want to have fun with your dogs? And we're going to help you. And we're going to you're going to go home and just be able to show off all the fun tricks your dog can do. And we're going to do the work behind that. So I do think it's an easy thing to do, and an easy way. And I will say, tricks are big right now. They have been for the last couple of years. They're very big for trainers. It's one of the best ways to get people interested in training in the first place, because a lot of people just don't want to say, oh, I want to teach my dog to heel. It's not fun. So tricks are just a lot more fun. So I love, Kathy said, I'm sold. Can't wait to get started. Love the talent show idea. So thanks, Kathy. That's awesome. So Victoria said, one challenge I have, because my dog daycare is subscription/membership only. I have 45 clients total. So any price add-on can only be multiplied by whoever signs up for the 45 client base.
Take it to Zoom, Vicki, and sell it outside your membership.
Yeah, I would look at, well, even if you only did those 45, it's still additional revenue. 45 times however much you charge times 12 months. That's still going to be a pretty decent revenue. But yeah, I would look at other ways you can do this virtually. And so maybe you have another option that is for non-members, maybe all those people on your wait list, where you can get in touch with them and be offering them something through a Facebook page or Zoom calls or whatever. I definitely think you can open that up, even if you don't bring the dogs into your facility, which is easy right now, especially because of COVID. So it gives you a good opportunity to try that anyway.
Great ideas.
Courtney said, love it. We'll definitely be ordering it. And that's awesome. So hopefully you guys are excited. We're happy to bring this opportunity to you and help out for those of you that are looking for another revenue stream. And we want to take away that problem of I don't have time to market it and I don't know how to teach tricks. So we just took those two problems away for you. We also took away the problem of I don't know how to charge or will I make money, because we've given you the tools for that. So really all you need to do is get it and start implementing it. And really it's plug and play. So I think the implementation will take literally, you could get up and running within 10 to 14 days. And
Absolutely.
so you can get this started